Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It depends in the time that you're watching this video. This is your brother Hervé Molato. Hervé Molato is a business where we're making clothes. Our principal activity in Molato is making clothes. So we're making clothes, men clothes, women clothes, and children clothes. So Molato is not a new business. We've been in sewing business for 21st years. So we have experience on the industry, and as I said for my previous video, I just decided to impact my generation. That's the reason that I decided to go for this YouTube channel. So I encourage anyone who has this opportunity to follow me. If you like sewing, you need to practice. Yeah. If you don't practice, you'll not be able to make it. Go practice. Go like my video. Share with also those people that you know that they like sewing. Go share with them. I've seen many people on those social media, they're looking for people to teach them. If you know somebody, share with them. Let them know. Let them learn. I tell people the big mistake is to die ignorant. Like me, I never want to be ignorant. I learned a lot of things in my life. At least I have an idea. Even so, those things I don't practice, I had an idea of how the car being like working, how the car engine working, how the brake working. I know about electricity. I know about electronic. I know how the TV works because I'm an electronic technician. I know how the TV works. I know why when they talk about component. I know when they talk about kappa, died. I know all these things. But I was even if I don't practice, but I know. I repair TV. I know. I repair. So that life you should at least know rather than dying ignorant. So that's the reason making this YouTube channel. I want people to know at least the basic. Even if you're not gonna practice, do it like professional. At least have an idea how they make a skate, how they make a shade, how they can make a paint. Okay, so at least have an idea. So that's the reason. So as I say for my previous video, in this video I'm gonna move to a draft of a skate. We keep talking about the straight skate. That's the basic. The basic of all skate is a straight skate because through the straight skate you can make a pencil skate. You can make with that some pattern. You can go with a flared skate. You can go with like a rubber skate. You can go with there's so many kind of skates, but all of them come from the straight skate. That the basic. So now we're gonna draft a front. I'll go bit by bit because I want people to get more than giving a lot of things one time. You're gonna confuse people. So I want to go step by step. Now we're gonna make draft a front for a straight skate. Let's go. Let's begin. Okay. The difference between skate, the second point was the formula that we use, and now the third point we're gonna talk about the draft of the front straight straight skates. So we move before with our all different kind of measurement. So I'll be drafting my font here. I'll go. Normally, a skate is the image of a rectangle. You know, all those on the rectangle image that the skate. We need to draft a rectangle. So I'm drafting my rectangle here. Yes. This is my rectangle drafting here. I go down and then this is my rectangle. Where go here is 1130. There was no shape here, so I have to find the measurement on the top and then go here. Here, go there. We're drafting a rectangle and then this. So anybody know that the rectangle has two like measurement or length? We're talking about the width, and this is the length. This the width, this the length, this the rectangle. So a skate is the rectangle because the width normally represent the waist, and also we have the hip. This on the width. Those will be representing the waist and the hip. Rather than the length, here we're representing the total length or the distance, I said the distance between the waist and the hip. This is the length. So go, when you do your practice, go draft a rectangle, then you have for your skate. So then we're gonna go bit by bit. As I say on my preview video, I try to explain. I'll come up again up with it. I try to explain about why we divide the waist by 4, the hip by 4. I say we trying to divide the body. Let's consider this the body. Here the skate. So this is the waist, the skate. We're talking about the skate, not the top. So if I say, okay, let me draft a skate, go for this side, give a shape, come this side, give a shape. I may not be likely to have the same shape on both sides going identical. So I think because I wasn't there, but the idea, because when you do things, you have to think also how people get there. The idea for them dividing by 4, as I said, this a waist is a circumference. You know, we see it like this. If we cut it, is a cycle. Is a cycle because we moving that the kind of that the circumference. No matter people when they are drafting, they're making a line. But if you go from some like a professional draft, you will find they make it a circle. It's a cycle. The hip also is a cycle because we're moving for one point and then around and come back. The waist, everything is the same. So they try to divide this cycle in 4 parties, and then they took one party, and then whatever they draft in this one party, it will be the same thing here and there. So then they do what we do by drafting, we fold a cloth, we fold it. This is the fold, will be folding. So this folding, we don't just do it like this. We do it according to some guideline. So to draft here, I'll be going with some guideline, and then I'll be using leather. You can use number, whatever you think is easy for you, but I'll be using leather to go to this guideline. So here will be my guideline. Here will be my drafting. So I can put here, let's put drafting, let's put guideline here. This is the guideline for my skate drafting. So what I'll be doing, I'll consider this part I'll write here, this is center. This is the center. This is my font, center font is my center font. But this center font will be on fold. This center one is on fold. I fold it. How did I fold it? Let's consider this was the other piece of the fabric. I want to explain this one. So for me to make it as I explained here, let's consider this part we sing on 4. This was 1, 2, 3, 4. We divide by 4. And then this is my font. I consider 1, 2 as my font. So what I do, I fold the font on top of the 2. So it's become like this. Then I don't see this 1 anymore because I fold it on top of 2. So this is my fold line. This become my center line. This one I'm talking about here. So this side was 1, and then we fold it on top of 2. It's become on top of 2. Then we have this shape here because we fold it on top of 2. So what we have to do to make it a guideline so that anybody can understand, let's call this point as a point A. And then we call the other point here as point B. So what point A and point B mean? I'll write it here. I say A, the point B, so the distance. I'll put it like some people put it straight like this. Or if I don't, I can just leave it. But that's what they do to show that the distance. I come again, I say the point A to point B, this distance here. I try to explain what is it is. This is the guideline. Fold your fabric according of the amount that is big after using the formula between, I put between like this, the waist and the hip. I said, maybe I'll correct because my English may not be good as for you. Fold your fabric according of the amount that is big after using the formula between waist and hip. As I'll give an example. After using your waist, we say the waist was 31 and a half of inch, and the hip was 39 half of inch. After having take your waist, divide by 4. Waist divide by 4 plus seam allowance, as we say, seam allowance and plus dart allowance. And then you come with your hip. You say hip divide by 4 plus seam allowance. You have some amount. Let's say here, as we say for the waist was 7 3/4. Maybe for the hip is 10 because I don't go to this one. 10 3/4. Let's put like this. Or a 10 1/4. Let's put like this. So those are the amounts that will help you to fold. So one of them, as we say, the hip here is 10 and a quarter. So the hip that's big. So your AB will be 10 because that's the biggest amount. As I say here, fold your fabric according of the amount that is big after using the formula between W waist and the hip. So that's the measurement that you'll be using. That will help you to fold your clothes. So if After using your math, applying the formula and the amount that you get from the measurement, and then you find that the waist is bigger than the hip, then your AB will be the waist amount. So you're gonna always use the amount that is big between the waist and the hip. That is the simple guideline. There's no another thing to do. Use it. Because there's a case where you find the waist is bigger than the hip. Most I'll say when kid, you will find it if you have your kid, your girl, your young sister, or blah blah, go try the measurement. When a girl did not yet did not yet see become a, as I say, sometimes I say she not become always a lady, because she do not have we call in French like those sexually secondary character. So she's still a girl. What is happening? The belly or the belly, the stomach is bigger than hip. So ladies also, women who are drinking alcohol, also having this one. Or some ladies after menopause. Menopause is, yeah, there are so many accumulation of grace, the fat on the belly. So they more are going to this shape, and then you see their back become like just like flakes, and then the belly become big. So those people, in most of cases, their waists are bigger than the hip. So you'll find these cases. As more you'll be sewing, you're gonna. So don't get yourself like scare or torment. I'll explain to you. Long. I'll come on this example and the last, so that I can explain to you how you can make this kind of, when you have this case, how you can go for making clothes. So then we come for, I'll call this point, let's call it B. B, let's call it C. I'll say B and C. What is this? B and C is that the distance that I talk about. Is the distance, is this the distance between waist and hip? And then you, as I say, here we're gonna add allowance plus allowance. Our seam allowance here. The seam allowance will help us to sew, to join the body of the skirt and the waistband. Even if you not put the waistband, the foam that you're putting inside, that band you're putting inside, because you will not leave it just as you cut it. You still need a allowance to sew it. So this is the allowance. And then we come down here. Let's call these points ABC. Let's call it D. Then I'll put C. D is 5 is 2 inches. Sorry, I want to put it in. It's 2 inches. And then next one, what we do, A, B, C, D. Let's put the point E. A, B, C, D. Let's put this point E. I'll call it E. Is I come here, say A and E equal of your waist divided by 4 plus your seam allowance plus your dart allowance. So you're gonna ask yourself, why do they call it A? Because normally, as I say, in the normal way, the hip is always bigger than the waist. So that we go with the drafting. We're trying to represent in a person with a normal shape. And then what we're gonna do now, we're gonna join our point E to the point C, and then what we're gonna do next is this one. We're gonna find the middle distance of uh, uh, point E and point C. In this case is 3.5 here. And then let's call this point, this is the F. And then we say E D divided by 2 equal F. And then we come out here. Let's call F G. Let's call this one G. Then we come here say F G equal chord of inches. This chord of inches. Why we do it over inches? We're gonna join the E and J. I can use another color, chalk. We join it like this, and then we join to the C. It's helping us to give a shape. You see, so that way we do. So then we join. We can write it here. Join points E, G, and C. Then we have this shape. So then I forget to before doing so, we need now to determine our length. So A, let's call this one F A J. Let's call it this H. Then we're gonna put here A. H is our total length plus inches and half. So there now we have draft our font scale. Can you see how easy? Very easy. So you can do with your free hand, give a beautiful like curve here. You know, you just free with your hand, and then you go down. So this is so we can call this point as HI. Let's call this point I. So I just want you to understand like H ego of B I. Ego of B I. It must be straight. In the same way, AB ego H and I. This here is ego H and I. You see, Ashton? So these are the same. This one is just to connect the shape. Yeah, it's just to connect the shape, nothing else. It's just to connect the shape to go straight. Because you see some people go from here. When you be dressing a pencil one, and then you see the amber, just because when you see from your hip moving down, this is a continuous like going before the body shape down like this. It's just the example. So this is the shape, the pencil scale that we'll be doing grasping later. But now, this is the front. This is the front. This is the front of a straight skate. It's very simple. This is the front of the straight skate. So not too much headache. It's very simple. Just follow as I say. You're gonna make it. So I just want to stop now for the straight skate, and later I'll be coming and drafting the back of the front skate. You see, so this is the front skate. So let me just go try to modify something so that you see the way, because I may okay, I'll keep it nowhere. I'll keep it with fame. It's okay. Go with this, and then on my second video, I'm going to modify. First, talk about the back, and then later I'll modify. Talk about the pencil skate. I just want to finish them today, and then we can move for other things. Thank you for watching me. And as I say, I encourage everyone to practice more. Go back to your lesson, like, share, comment, ask questions. We'll be here. And then I think all the questions you can ask, I may be able to answer. If I don't have to answer, I'll go still looking. So yeah, let's move like this. Thank you very much for watching, and all the best.